What's going on, y'all? What's going on? We're live. Let me go live real quick on Instagram so they can see me too. How's it going? It's the first one, so we're doing some testing, right? But let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know if y'all can hear me. We're gonna have a really good one tonight. I got a good topic to talk about. It's called charge your worth and add tax, right? And that's one of my favorite conversations because there's a lot of people that are in business, right? And when you're in business, a lot of times, how do you know what to charge? Sometimes you charge based upon what you see others charging. And when you do that, you may be undervaluing yourself and your services. So it's very important that you figure out your pricing structure, how to price whatever it is you're selling, whether it's your product, your service, whatever it is, figuring out the best way to price, right? There's different structures of how to price. A lot of people do pricing based on cost. But then there's a lot of people that do pricing based on the value that they give. And I think that's important because the more value you're able to provide, the better your pricing can be, the more profitable your business is, and the more money you get to reinvest in your business and to grow and expand. And that's what we're all in business to do, hopefully, is to grow and expand and to go to that next level, right? So it's important that you charge your worth and then add tax to it, right? Um, but here's the thing: charging your worth comes with a level of confidence in your ability to deliver whatever it is you're selling. A lot of times, when we work with clients, we see that there may be some fear in charging what they feel they're worth because they may not feel like what they're selling is worth a lot or anything, right? So now, if you don't have that ability, or if you have that mindset block and you feel that what you're selling is not worth it, what do? For many, you got to go back to the drawing board. You got to go back to see what is it that you're selling and why is it not connecting with your audience? Or if it is connecting, if it is helping to impact and change lives, then now it's time to say, you know what? I feel confident to raise my price. But what if you felt confident to raise your price or to charge what you were worth from the very beginning of when you were in business, right? How much further would you go? How much bigger would you be able to expand your business? So it's very important that you get into that mindset. And even if you don't charge what you feel you're worth at that moment, that doesn't mean that you can't change the pricing. That doesn't mean that you can't say, you know what, the price needs to go up. It needs to increase, you know? So I think it's important that we review what we're pricing on our services, on our products, and potentially increase it if need be. And that's for any industry. That could be if you're in the daycare industry, if you're in the e-commerce industry, if you're in accounting, right? If you sell services or products that you feel are impacting your clientele, it might be an opportunity for you to review your pricing. And here's another thing that I've noticed with all these years of being in business, right? If you're selling something and people are buying it very quickly, that might tell you that, you know what, your price might be too low. If there's some trepidation on spending on whatever it is that you're selling, that might mean that you're in a place of pricing that you got to figure out how to become a better salesperson and make the person that you're selling to believe that they're going to get the value that they say that they're going to get, right? So it's very important that your pricing strategy comes to the forefront of your 2025. You're reviewing it, you're reviewing your pricing, you're looking at it, and you're seeing where are the areas that I could potentially increase. And we talked about raising prices, but then what about the cost associated with your price? How can I get more of a gross margin on what I'm selling? These are the things that you should always ask yourself. What are the direct costs of what I'm selling? So if I sell, let's say, vitamins, and I price it at, let's say, $10 per pack, what's the cost of what I'm selling? A lot of times we just look at the vitamin costs that goes into the container, but what about the container that you're selling? What about the packaging? What about everything else associated with selling those vitamins? What about the manufacturing cost from the people that are manufacturing the vitamins for you and shipping it to you? What about the freight, right? Now you have your vitamins that have been manufactured. It has to come to your warehouse. If you're driving to go pick it up, that's a cost that needs to be factored in. If you're not driving and you're being charged for freight, that is a direct cost to whatever it is you're selling, right? So these are all the things that factor into your pricing, and you figure out what your gross margin is, and hopefully you have a healthy gross margin, anywhere from 60, 70, 80%, even 50% is good. But now that you've figured out the gross margin, you have the rest of that margin to now pay for everything else, to pay for your Facebook ads, your marketing, to pay for payroll, to pay for everything that you need to run an efficient business, right? And so it's important that we review our pricing and we look at our margins, because that is going to help us to grow. And there's a lot of leakage in that for many people that are in business, and they're not realizing that, you know what, the reason why I'm struggling is because my price may not be high enough. I'm pricing based on what Amazon and Walmart are charging. And that's a deadly strategy, because you're competing against people, corporations that have been around for years, that have the relationships with vendors to help them not be able to charge an exorbitant amount of money. They've refined their processes and their systems, and they've figured out ways to be able to charge those prices, you know? So as a small business, you're not going to be able to charge as little as Amazon, Walmart, Target, you know? You're going to most likely charge more than them. And that's okay, because the people that are buying from you hopefully should understand that you are not a big box retailer. You are a smaller business. So therefore, even though my price may not be as low as these big box retailers, the value of what I'm selling, the experience that you're getting is much greater, right? So these are the things that we have to be on top of in order to charge our worth and add tax, you know? So these are things that you have to review, that you have to look at in order to if you don't get the pricing right, y'all, everything else is not going to fall in line. Now, I want you to think about that, right? As you're watching this, as you're thinking about your own pricing, where are you in your pricing? Are you constantly having to reinvest and put money into your business? Are you constantly having to go get loans? Are you constantly having to go do other things, like go ask friends and family for money to put into your business? If so, you might have an issue from pricing, or it might be an issue somewhere else. But I would say review your pricing, look at that more intently. If you have to, hire an accountant, hire a professional to help you analyze your pricing. This is some of the things that we do in our firm, right? Whenever clients come on to work with us, within the first 6 months, we're looking at their pricing and we're seeing, okay, where are the areas that they could increase? What are some things they're paying for in their pricing that we could potentially say, you know what, let's go negotiate that down. Let's go look at other alternatives to help drive that cost down. So now our gross margin is higher, right? So it's important to review that and to figure those things out. Yeah. I just wanted to talk about that, right? Because that's extremely important to really understand as you're in business. That's just the first layer, right? And there's more layers that I'll talk about as I go live more often. This isn't going to be my last live. I'm going to be coming live more often, right? So I want y'all to tune in. Right now, in the meantime, it's probably going to be at night, but who knows? I might do some daytime, but it's all dependent upon what you guys want, right? If you feel nighttime is better, let me know in the comments. If you feel the daytime is better, in the afternoon, the morning, let me know as well. And whoever has the most votes wins, right? But yeah, we're going to talk about a lot more things. We're going to talk about taxes, right? We're in tax season. We got to talk about that. We're going to talk about tax planning. We're going to talk about like just so many other things that come into play in business and in finance. Cash flow management, knowing when to pay your bills, right? All those things are extremely important. And these are things that we have to get a really good grip on, specifically in these economic times, right? For those of us who've been in business for the past few years, you've seen how inflation and just how everything has been. It's been rocky, and hopefully with new presidency, things start to get better. But in the event that it doesn't get better quickly or at all, what are you going to do with your business? Where are you going to be? How are you going to push forward in your business? Do you have cash reserves set aside for whenever things are not going well? Are you constantly looking at your margins to see what are some things that I can potentially increase or decrease, right, from an expense perspective? Or is my team at capacity? Are there things that I can do to generate more revenue without having to add more expense? Right? Are there things that I'm spending money on that I could potentially replace with something that's going to actually return an investment for the dollar that I'm spending? Right? So we're in times where we have to be on top of our numbers extremely tight, because if we're not on top of our numbers, um, you got a lot of loose money just flowing out, right? And as it's flowing out, this is money that could be reinvested into growing your business, right? So these are things that are extremely important. But yeah, I wanted to come on live. This is a test. I wanted to kind of see how this is, and I'm looking forward to coming on more often. If the audio is good, let me know in the comments too. Anything that you see, let me know, and I will see you guys tomorrow or potentially over the weekend. We'll see. All right, until next time.